When I was little, my brother was lent a couple of games for Nintendo 64, and as a little dumb kid, I didn't know how to make a new save file on any of these games, making me play in my brother's file every time. And this led me to play his completed Ocarina of Time game, making me experience the line of events where you will fight against a warlock, punching thunderbolts back at him and then shanking him a couple of times, to then escape from inside a falling castle after such a hard fight, to then reaching the roof where you will fight the warlock transforming into a huge and grotesque monster wielding 2 giant swords, making you slide and swipe to get his tail, and finishing all with the hardest PG-13 kill I've ever seen. And this was my introduction to the design of boss fights in video games. Lots of times when we talk about our experiences in video games, we tend to use boss fights as mental checkpoints when remembering a game, and to express how much we liked the experience. Something like the Shadow fight in Kingdom Hearts tutorial, the Gaspard fight in Dark Cloud 2, Malenia in Elden Ring, or Ganondorf in any Zelda. But at the same time, these fights can show the design flaws in a game, like the Impression in Skyward Sword, the freaking boring ass Rykard battle in Elden Ring, or any boss fight in the Elder Scrolls. They feel the same to any enemy, no matter what, and this shows how painfully monotone a game can be. But there are games that take these boss fights and elevate them to wonderful levels, and show their storytelling prowess with them, without having to use a single fucking word, because the storytelling is reaching you, the player. You see, one of the greatest strengths of a video game is that you are the one experiencing the moment. It's not Jinx or Sokka, it is us moving, jumping and pummeling the obstacle in front of us. And putting us in that place is what can make a specific moment elevate to a magnificent experience that only a video game can tell. And this can be focused in boss fights. So I wanna give you some examples of this happening in games, and why this Silksong fight is so damn. Let's go to the root of the Hollow Knight games, and let's go visit the grandmother of this genre, Metroid, and most specifically, Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion starts because of the powerful and hungry X-Parasite, a parasite that as far as we know, we need to destroy, because some geniuses tried to use his ability to assimilate DNA from other living beings to clone Metroids, with the fluids baby Metroid dropped on Samus after he, died above us in the Modern Warfare fight. Yeah, Metroid indeed has some lore! But now when we get to the station, everything is destroyed, giving us an idea of how powerful these things are. And after that we see them assimilate and giving life to corpses and monster DNA that the scientists had in the laboratory. And they give us a hard time, living in our mind that these things can create some powerful shit. And then we go even deeper in the facility without knowing what awaits us in the end. Until this happens. Yep, Samus has been assimilated by the virus. Say hi to SA:X? Yeah. Normally, this is a powerful move in video games, because in our mind, there is no one as powerful as us, the one controlling the game, because we know we are gonna beat the game at the end. But what if we have to fight an even more powerful version of ourselves? And the game just shows us with these moments of dread and genuine fear, where we need to run from this enemy, because it is stronger than us, it's more savage, it's more calculating, he knows more than us. We are a mere ant in their presence. And this game gives us this feeling by making us experience these moments. Key word, experience. We run and hide from the enemy, we keep searching ways to have the advantage, but each time it finds us, we are powerless. And after all of this cat and mouse game, we finally battled it near the end of the game, giving us this powerful catharsis and making us feel powerful enough to take on even ourselves. And it feels amazing to finally watch this creature lose control and the cold composure we've seen it have throughout the whole game, taking a grotesque shape of everything it has assimilated before, trying to take us out with everything it got, to finally just run from us, like we've been doing the whole game, making this a genuine masterpiece of storytelling inside the design of the boss itself. The game didn't need to tell us, you know what, this motherfucker is powerful and you aren't ready to take on it. You better get the hell out of there. Oh, look at it, finally showing its true face. You finally won. Nah, this shit will only take us out of the moment. But this game is slowly and methodically showing us all of the pieces and putting them in the table to finally making us give them shape just by experiencing it, takes the boss fight to the next level. And this is something that games lack to this day. This freaking well-crafted masterpiece is only found in games like this, that know what they want to tell and can do it in a fantastic way. But hey, this is not the only time a game had tell us a story and made us feel something with only its boss design. I think you know where I'm going with this. You see, if you haven't played a single Dark Souls or Souls-like game, there is a simple formula these fights have. You start by punching the enemy then becomes enraged and goes into its second phase, where it is stronger than ever. And sometimes there is even a third phase with these motherfuckers. But that's about it. No matter what game of this genre you pick, this is the formula you are gonna deal with throughout the whole game. Boss strong, boss gets angry, boss even stronger, boss dies. So it is surprising when in the battle against the great Grey Wolf Sith, everything changes. You need to understand something with this point I'm making here. I'm not saying that this boss fight is the best fight there is, or that this boss fight has the best lore in the whole Dark Souls series. What I'm saying is, this game makes you experience a story with just the gameplay. In Metroid, you feel the threat and danger. In Dark Cloud 2, you feel the danger you are in because of how you need to change from character to character to keep everything afloat. I mean, time is of the essence in this freaking fight. And in here, you feel yourself becoming a monster. In Dark Souls, everything is morally grey. You aren't inherently bad or a good guy. You just do what you need to do like a mindless peon. And it shows in this freaking battle. Because once the battle starts, Sif, instead of becoming stronger and going into a second phase or a tier 1 showing how powerful it truly is, it just becomes weaker and weaker, to the point that it can barely walk. It feels awful to keep battling it, but the game can't continue unless you end its life, until you prove that you are the chosen undead to fulfill the prophecy to link the flame. You are going to do what you must, and it feels heartbreaking to finally kill this lonely wolf, and that is it. Just experiencing this fight changes a lot of the pace you had in the game, because after killing gruesome creatures and horrible dark fantasy tropes, you killed a defenseless creature. And even though the experience I'm looking for ends there, you can find out by reading items that this wolf was just defending the grave of its deceased owner, making what happened even worse, making this battle feel completely different from any other in the Dark Souls games, becoming an iconic fight in the franchise. It told a story that could only be told in this genre, because it deconstructed the phases you are expected to deal with, and it makes you feel bad instead of powerful after conquering the battle, and it makes the player feel different from when the battle started. It transcended the screen and reached you, just like this Sonic cover art. Holy shit! And well, I think there are more fights out there that do this, but I wanted to tell you these two little stories to tell you why this fight in Silksong is the freaking best the game has to offer. Even better than those amazingly adrenaline pumping ones the game have later. Or even better than the ones that have a lot of character. But obvio, I fucking love you. For me, this fight cemented Silksong as a pillar in my path as a designer. It created an island just like in Inside Out. Yeah, all the games, series, movies and art that have marked me in some way have their own island in my mind. And in the center of the Silksong Island, there are the Cogwork Dancers. You gotta understand that to this point in the game, you've been killing everything that shows in your screen. There are times when I said, oh hello little comrade, just for that motherfucker to drop kick me in the freaking face. In other words, there are more enemies than allies in this game. So that's when I finally reached the Citadel, and it was, well, not as pretty as I had imagined. Jesus. That's when you find these two clankers that will put on a fight. And they are, well, dancers. And they do synchronized attacks in which they will travel across the whole screen, and if they reach you, you get a freaking beating. But after you punch them for a while, they go into the second phase, where they will keep moving synchronized, but faster. The music gains speed and also grows, and they blast and blast moves. They go through the whole screen and keep meeting in the middle, staring passionately to each other. Weird, because they are robots, right? and they keep going for you. But after a while, if you keep kicking their ass, they go back to their base, coming back even faster than ever, but they are not synchronized, making them easier to hit because they are not protecting one another anymore. They don't seem eye to eye anymore. Something's gone wrong and they aren't synchronized, except from when they meet in the middle and they find one another again, making their strongest move possible. But if you keep, hitting them as you should, one of them will die, making the remaining one go back to its base and then come back to the fight, but it is slower. It feels empty. The music is just sad. Something is missing, and the last dancer tried to find his partner at the center once again, used to be met with nothing. Its programming is making it move. It's a robot after all, it's following orders, but something makes it actually feel alive and sad. And it took me a while to deliver that final hit to the lonely dancer, because the game, with only its storytelling, without dialogue or anything, with the gameplay alone, made me feel sad for the robots. But I had to finish the battle, so I did. And this is the boss fight that will stay with me even after the game is turned off. Because it doesn't matter if the game didn't tell me about them beforehand or even gave me an item that tells me their story. Something like that they were made by a couple so in love that they put themselves into their work, making even their creations fall in love or some shit like that. What mattered to me is how this made me feel to the last second of the battle. How it made me feel to that last hit. And this game shows an exceptional knowledge of design that I can't freaking wait for all of you to experience. 3 guys created this. 33 guys created this. And I can't wait for what more developers will make in the future. And I hope that I can be one of them someday, maybe. And the urge this fight gives me to keep pushing forward and creating, how this boss fight made me freaking feel instead of keeping me just pushing buttons, is the reason this is the best boss fight in Silksong. And yeah, this game is hard, but nerfing it already? Damn, you guys are fucking crybabies!
Oh, we were right there, man!
You know what? Never mind.